Learning across the country has been paralyzed for close to 3 months as the government seeks to contain the spread of the deadly coronavirus. And as the effects of the pandemic continues to be felt, President Uhuru Kenyatta would, during his 57th Madaraka Day speech, direct the Ministry of Education to fast-track consultations on how to ensure safety of learners when learning resumes. He sent
I am hereby directing that the Ministry of Education fast-tracks and finalizes the ongoing consultations with all stakeholders that will provide us with an appropriate calendar for the gradual resumption of education in the country. The guidelines should also include protocols to be followed by all learning institutions in order to guarantee not only the safety of our children, but the safety of their parents and grandparents.
His sentiments coming barely 3 days after the Education Response Committee on COVID-19, which was established to advise the government on the modalities of reopening schools, presented its preliminary report to Education Cabinet Secretary Professor George Magoha. Kenya Union of Post-Primary Education Teachers Secretary General Akello Misori, who is part of the Dr. Sarah Ruto-led 9-member committee, said that the pandemic puts the country at risk of losing the great milestones achieved in the education sector.
This pandemic has caused a real stalemate. How do we transit with the competency-based curriculum with the students that we have? Another issue is the element of the phasing out of the old curriculum.
Misori saying the postponement of national examinations is no longer in question as the safety of learners has to be prioritized.
Today is 1st June and first term was not completed. Second term we have eaten 1 month. I think that thing. So, and we are not seeing the future of opening. You see that thing. So the exams may not be done on schedule. That is a fact.
Misori saying that a dynamic shift is needed since the current state in most schools in the country presents many risk factors for the spread of the virus, even as they challenge the government to devise ways of cushioning teachers whose income has been adversely affected by the economic downturn caused by COVID-19.
The more elderly teachers are likely not to be very active in teaching, because most of them may be old, may be having underlying problems with health, and therefore the people who are still not employed are the ones who are going to save the situation. So the government, I think, should consider giving economic stimulus to public schools which have employed board of management teachers and to private schools.
Misori is at the same time urging parents and learners to be patient as the fate of the education sector is now pegged on the success of the ongoing efforts to mitigate the spread of COVID-19.
The length of stay at home will depend on the Cabinet Secretary Health, because we cannot have schools open, in my view, when there is escalation or there is exponential upsurge in terms of infections.
For Channel 1 News, I'm Safin Acheng Oma.